Hi, welcome to day 13. I got my moose mug with me. Today I am sipping on some Shiner Holiday Cheer. I like Shiner Bock beers. Look at that. That's a cool cap as well. Very festive, very festive. It is an ale brewed with peaches and pecans, or pecans, whichever way you want to pronounce it. It's a 5.4% alcohol beer, and as always, I have my moose mug. And Nick's actually going to be tasting this with me because I dropped him off some beer earlier today when I was in Staten Island. So it's exciting. So here we go. Taste this beer. Put my elbow out like I'm Nick. I've actually had this beer before. I usually have it every holiday season. This is like one of my favorite holiday beers. It doesn't have the holiday, the nutmeg or cinnamon, but it's very good. It has when I first opened this bottle, when you first take that cap off, you get hit in the face with peaches. The smell of peaches just hits you in the face. It's very good. I like it. It's light, which is good. It's only 5.4% alcohol. So this is probably one of my favorite holiday beers because it's drinkable. It says TJ says it's crushable, so you can drink multiple beers in a night as opposed to just having the one. Like the stouts that I've been trying have been probably one and done type of beer because those are heavy. But that brings me to my take, and this take is a somber take because we're talking about Mike Leach passed away this week, age 61, an innovator of college football, the air raid offense, and probably one of the best guys when it comes to a press conference. Some of the funny quips that he says during a press conference, and one of the ones I remember is he says that he believes in Bigfoot, which is like just a funny thing. I think he always goes out on tangents during his press conference, whether it be about political stuff or just funny random things. Mike Leach was a great coach. He actually finished his career, obviously ended short due to his passing, but he was about 60% winning percentage. He's never in a big blue chip school. He was at Mississippi State SEC finally last few seasons. Before that, he was Washington State, and I can't remember the first school he was at, but. One of the funny stories about Mike Leach that I learned about recently since his passing was he was at Oklahoma University as the offensive coordinator. He was with Bob Stoops as the head coach, and they had a big Red River rivalry game, and he dropped his offensive play card on the field, and a couple of players from Texas found it. They picked it up, they brought it to their coach, and they said, "Look, we found the offensive play card. They must have dropped it on the field. Let's try to use it to our advantage." Next thing you know, Oklahoma has a 17-0 lead, and it turned out the offensive play card was completely fake. That Mike Leach actually dropped the card on purpose, and was a completely fake card. There was nothing on it that was going to be used during the game, and it completely faked out Texas until they finally figured it out. This was not the correct play call. Excuse me. So at that point, Texas did come back and win the game, but at first, it did work in their advantage. They took a 17-0 lead. They ended up ultimately losing that game. But it's just funny that Mike Leach would just try whatever he could to win. And that was one of the things about him. His office was covered with pirate stuff. They considered him, they called him nicknames of a pirate. And one of his most recent interviews that he had, it was him and Jeremy Schaap, and they sat there and they asked him, what would you want your obituary to say about you when you die? He said, what would you want writers to write about you in the obituary? He said, well, that's their problem. What do I care? I'm dead. So, Mike Leach, rest in peace. This beer's for you. We're going to talk about great things about you, the history of college football. So you might not care what we have to say about you after you're gone, but we are going to talk about good things about you because you are a football guy through and through. So rest in peace. Cheers. As for my rating for my Shiner Bock beer, this is one of my favorite beers, but it's not perfect, so I can't give it a 4. But it's gonna be up there because Nick's gonna hate us. I'm gonna give it a 3.4. It's crushable. It has great fruity flavor. You don't really taste the pecans as much. I don't really know what a pecan tastes like, so maybe that's why I'm not tasting it. But it definitely has that fruity peach flavor, which I enjoy. So happy holidays.